Hello and welcome all of you at second Elets Diagnostics Leadership Summit on 23rd and 24th September 2021 on virtual 3D platform Avatar by Elets Technomedia and eHealth magazine and portal. I am Karthik Sharma, the managing editor for eHealth and eGov in Elets Technomedia. And today it's a great day that we are having such eminent leadership uh, who is working exemplary work in diagnostics sector and speakers from hospitals, government and industry are here to share their views, their ideas and their innovations in the various sectors related to diagnostics. So today, in this very special session, we are welcoming, first of all, Cepheid, our platinum partner of the second Elets Diagnostic Leadership Summit. Cepheid is based in Sunnyvale, California, USA. It is a leading molecular diagnostics company operating within Danaher Corporation's diagnostics platform. Cepheid is dedicated to improving healthcare by developing, manufacturing, and marketing accurate yet easy to use molecular systems and tests. In this particular session in second Elets Diagnostic Leadership Summit, there will be a discussion on innovations in diagnostics field of drug resistant TB. And the two people who will be discussing on this very important topic, especially in a country like India, where TB is so much prevalent. The two eminent leaders from industry who are discussing in this particular session are Dr. Debkishore Gupta, Director of Medical Affairs in Cepheid, and Ms. Rashi Garg, General Manager in Cepheid, India, and adjacent markets. I welcome both of you in this session, Dr. Debkishore and Ms. Rashi. Before I request both of you to start the discussion, I would like to introduce our audience a little bit about both of you. Dr. Debkishore Gupta, Director of Medical Affairs in Cepheid. After completing MD in microbiology, Dr. Gupta moved to Burnett School of Medicine at the University of Central Florida for a postdoctoral fellowship in molecular biology. He was also trained in infection control by the New York State Department of Health and State Education Department. After returning to India, he completed an infectious disease certificate course from Hinduja Hospital in 2012. He set up the first central government recognized private lab and ward for H1N1 influenza in West Bengal. He received an ESCMID grant for a fellowship in infectious diseases from the Netherlands in June 2015. Also, he completed post-graduation diploma in infectious diseases (PGDID) from Apollo Hospital in collaboration with the University of New South Wales, Australia. In November 2016, he joined CMRI and BM Birla Hospitals as consultant and head of clinical microbiology, infection control and quality. He continued there for 4.5 years before joining Cepheid as Director Medical Affairs. He is also certified assessor for NABL, NABH and WHO patient safety. We are very glad and honored to have such an eminent dignitary speaking at this platform of Elets Diagnostic Leadership Summit. Thank you very much, Dr. Debkishore Gupta,
Thank you.
for spending time and joining us. And I also introduce you all to Rashi Garg, the General Manager at Cepheid India and adjacent markets. She is a healthcare industry leader with focus on identifying unmet customer needs and addressing them. She is driven by the passion of making a difference in the lives of the patient and has an impeccable record of impact in the diagnostics, medical device, and consumer healthcare business across India and the Asia Pacific. She has an established track record in startup, growth, or turnaround business in the healthcare space. We are honored to have such a dynamic personality, industry leader, and such a passionate person speaking at this platform. Welcome, Rashi Garg. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Karthik. It's a pleasure to be on this platform.
Thank you. So I would again introduce the audience about the topic of today's discussion before handing over the platform to both these leaders. It will be a discussion around innovations in diagnostics field of drug-resistant tuberculosis (TB). Over to you, Dr. Debkishore and Rashi.
Great. No, thank you so much, Karthik. It's a pleasure to be, like I said, it's a pleasure to be on this platform, and thank you to everyone for attending this session. What we wanted to do was really, talk about TB. It's very unfortunate that India is known as the TB capital of the world. And what's even worse is we are also known as the world capital of drug-resistant TB. And I'm pretty sure this audience already knows, but India accounts for almost 27% of total global MDR-TB cases. And COVID has not helped. COVID has made this whole pandemic worse for us, given our goal of ending TB by 2025 has been derailed by COVID-19 pandemic. And so, Dr. Debkishore, what I wanted to do was really understand from you, what are some of the challenges that you see in the RTB program, and how do you think India can mitigate this challenge?
Yeah, thanks, Rashi, for this very important question. So you have rightly said that India accounts for around 27% of the global MDR TB burden, that is drug-resistant TB burden. So that's really alarming. So that shows the challenge we have at our hand. So we have challenges in different sectors, like for diagnostics, yes, monoresistance to isoniazid. That is a growing concern for India. And we have known that only 8% of them are actually being detected. So that's a concern. And these patients are not properly diagnosed, not treated, and they are transmitting the infection in the society. Secondly, the existing algorithm, the line probe assay, so that needs sophisticated settings. So that's not very easy to start this setup in every part of this vast country. Next, we do not have this test and treat strategy for drug-resistant TB management. So as a result, we see a lot of patients are lost during follow-up. Because it takes a lot of time. And finally, as far as the treatment regimen is concerned, we see that up to 49 to 50% of the MDR or XDR patients, they do not get the appropriate treatment. The reason may be, again, the delay in testing, but that the fact remains that 49% patients do not get the appropriate treatment. So as a result, that drug-resistant TB gets transmitted from one patient to another, and definitely in the society. So we know that 1/3 of new TB cases are actually undiagnosed and unnotified. So that's the actual problem that we have at hand right now.
So Dr. Debkishore, you just spoke about so many challenges. I mean, I'm thinking, how do you mitigate these challenges then?
So, well, it begins with accurate diagnosis, So we have to notify more resistant patients and also start treatment for them. For that, we need appropriate and accurate diagnosis so that we can institute the appropriate management and we can choose the right regimen for the patients. And somehow we have to reduce the diagnostic delay, because we know that along with this diagnostic delay, so many things we can mitigate. We can reduce the loss to follow-up. We can start same-day test and treat strategy. And definitely, so there are a lot of scopes we can have during this reduction in diagnostic delay. We can have rapid molecular tests. We can have multiplexing. So many things can be done. So overall idea is to link more and more patients to care. So somehow the bottom line is we have to break the chain of this drug-resistant TB and simplify the patient pathway. And definitely we need public and private sector both working together. So Rashi, so if I may ask you one question. So you asked me very important questions, definitely. So now next, coming to the next point, which flows automatically, that what industry is thinking on these newer solutions and how you think that industry can help overall.
Yeah, no, I think, you spoke about the government segment and the private sector, right? I think industry will have a role to play. We've spoken about this, that India accounts for 27% of global MDR TB cases. And that is one of the biggest hurdles when we think about how do we want to end TB by 2025. And you mentioned there's very limited scope right now that we have on the same day test and treat. approach to DRTB population, right? And that is a growing need. I mean, we keep hearing this when I speak with customers, when we speak with clinicians, when we speak with patients also, when we speak with microbiologists. There's this huge gap that we see in the test and treat methodology. And so, and as an industry, this is really an unmet need that we hear. And so as an industry, when we think about it, what do we need to do? What are our customers asking for? They're basically saying, can you come up with a multiplexing capability so that I can do a drug resistance diagnosis in one go? And this, I think, is where Dr. Debkishore, industry can play a very, very big role. Understand the gap, come up with a innovative solution to plug these gaps. And that's what we've done at Cepheid, actually. If you look at our expert XDR test, it works on our innovative 10C technology, and that enables multiplexing to help detect broader targets beyond RIF resistance, right? Like INH, like fluoroquinolones, like ethanides, and second-line injectables. I think that's where the industry will play a very, very big role.
Great. This sounds really reassuring, and definitely, innovation is a way forward. And we have seen that different innovations, especially in the diagnostics of TB, starting from G4 to melt curve to finally to 10C. So this has been a great journey. So with these innovations like this MTB and XDR, how this can change the DRTB management strategies and TB elimination program in both public and private sector? So that's my next question to you. So do you have any plan?
Yes, absolutely. When you look at the UDST program, for example, which is the Universal Drug Susceptibility Testing, we already have a RIF or an ultra test that helps the patients to understand RIF resistance. But now we have this XDR that I was just talking about, where it will help the patients to get the treatment from day one, which basically means faster initiation of treatment. Like today, when you were speaking about LPA, when you speak about how the detection is done, it takes anything between 6 to 8 weeks from the time I think I've got TB to the time I'm very sure that the right treatment has started. A lot of times treatment will start, but I don't know whether I have second line injectable resistance, whether I have INH resistance. And that creates a lot of challenges for our patients, for our clinicians. XDR test will change that. It is a WHO approved test, just for you to know. And this particular test will give you result in 90 minutes. Can you imagine? From the time the patient comes, is detected RIF resistance, 90 minutes after that, he will know what other drugs is the patient resistant to. And the same day, the treatment can start for that patient. I think that is the way we will help change the way TB is managed in this country. Actually, this product also is now approved in India. So we are looking at this, XDR being available in India by the end of either this month or early October.
That's excellent. I believe that this is kind of revolutionary in this diagnostic platform for drug resistant and overall TB management algorithm. Great.
In fact, I had a follow-up question. We've done all this. I wanted to check with you, how do you think that will make a difference in the diagnosis of DRTB to help the patient and the national program also?
So essentially, it's a timely diagnosis, right? So now we'll all know that drug-resistant TB is a consequence of ineffective treatment. Now, this can happen at the individual level when you offer inappropriate treatment or the patient doesn't take, right? So even at the programmatic level, that when the right standard regimens is not given to the patient because of certain limitations in drug susceptibility testing. So as a result, we see this drug-resistant TB is increasing, and many a times this is undiagnosed. So you can see this delay in diagnostics is having multi-pronged outcome, definitely at the patient level. So his morbidity, mortality, and also to the community. And again, there is high chance that, the patient may be lost in the follow-up. So I would say that the timely diagnosis, that is one of the key features of this assay, and this is definitely going to strikingly reduce the time of 4 to 6 weeks, or maybe even beyond that, to just to 90 minutes. So that is going to be revolutionary in the overall management of TB and drug-resistant tuberculosis. So Rashi, again, now I have a question to you. So how these solutions can be overall cost effective and easy to use?
Yeah, look, our expert tests, they're all plug and play. So there's no major training that is required. It's you take the sample, you put it in the instrument, it's a walk-away system. It's as simple as that. So extremely easy to use. The cost question always comes up, right? I mean, in diagnosis, that is important. I do want to add a few perspectives here, Dr. Debkishore. One is the cost per test. Straight away you compare one test to the other. Today, if you see, there are multiple tests that need to be done, and you said it, over a period of few weeks and months before the right treatment can be started. I think the one thing we will need to do is look at the overall cost per diagnosis, which today is very, very high, and that has been addressed and will get addressed with XDR. And given, like I just said, it's a plug and play, easy to use test, the diagnosis will become much faster. Same day, I mean, can you imagine, same day, the patient comes and you're able to start the treatment. The amount of spread that we will stop because of that will also have a huge cost implication for the healthcare system as well as for the patients and their family. I think I would say better patient management, stopping the risk of transmission in the community, breaking the chain of DRTB, everything, and the cost of the test, everything will help us in bringing down the cost of diagnosis for DRTB.
Excellent. Thanks for this clarification.
And I will have then my last follow-up question to you, Dr. Debkishore. How do you see private sector's involvement in battling, in this whole battle against TB?
See, we have to recognize that private sector is very well established in our country, and that can actually maximize the reach and the faster delivery of diagnosis-based treatment across the country. So we have to accept that. And definitely, we know that there are certain limitations in different sectors, but the infrastructure, the trained manpower should not be the limitations for such a disease like drug-resistant